So breaking news. I want to be sensitive because we'll be talking about a real human being here for a minute. But a 17-year-old girl tried to, well, it's conflicting. I've heard two different reports. Try to leave some of the precise details out of it for the purpose of kind of privacy and things, but where 17-year-old girl was raped and then requested legal euthanization, had it denied, and then took her own life. That's, from what I understand, from what I've read online, various other sources, that's what I understand to be kind of the principal narrative points, I guess. And so it started this just kind of firestorm conversation regarding, should we be euthanizing humans? There's various states, I think Oregon and Washington, I believe, they've already legalized the right to die, that if a person is elderly or receives a terminal diagnosis, there's some different parameters that they can just electively choose to have a doctor oversee them being put to sleep, essentially, instead of them going through it. And while trying to be sensitive, I do want to say this is disturbing for me. Very disturbing. And the reason why is because I'm finding that there's really only two main arguments on its behalf. On the one hand, it's, we euthanize our pets, why not our elderly or sick or whatever that are going through intense pain or agony? Why not? And then on the other hand, it's why would you want to watch your loved ones suffer through fill in the blank? And I want to address both of those as well as I can while trying to keep this under 35,000 hours, because it's a significant issue. But on the one hand, over here with we euthanize animals. The reason that it's acceptable, I guess is the term, it's permissible to euthanize animals, is that they're not moral actors. They're not morally conscious. If an animal like a lion tackles a zebra that's pregnant on the savannah and devours its flesh, no one considers anything wrong with that, because it's just part of the natural order. When orcas will form a pod and they'll throw seals up into the air, catching them like dogs with rats, no one thinks that's weird, because it's just animals being animals. Dolphins have been known to gang rape females. All these, there's various behaviors that we find reprehensible and unacceptable among humans that is just normative among animals. Violent dominance displays, brutal predation, things like that, and they're not acceptable over there because animals are not moral. However, human beings are moral. They're the only creature on this planet that we're aware of that has any kind of moral structure that way. So when we're dealing with other humans, we do not subject them to the same circumstances that you might put an animal in. You would feel no issue with having a dog sleep outside in a little kind of clapboard shack. You put a human being in that, and it's abuse. And even, I'm of the opinion, even leaving the animal out there is still abusive, but that's not my thing. But there's a very significant, if you want to say that humans are the same as animals, that we're just another member of the animal kingdom, and that's why euthanization should be allowed, then all those other behaviors I mentioned, rape, incest, just brutal violence, just all those kind of, those things are no longer have grounds to be illegal. You might consider that maybe it's a slippery slope or a straw man fallacy maybe, but it's simply true. Undergirding this idea is that human beings are distinct from humans, and thus they get distinctive treatment. As we break down those kind of barriers, those ontological and psychological barriers between us and animals, we're just going to continue to behave more and more like them. Not so. That's the one thing. Humans aren't animals. We don't treat them like animals. Over here on this side, the emotional appeals. Suffering is a part of life. Just accept it. There's hardship. I gotta go to work whether I want to or not. That's just part of reality, and it sucks. And I'm at that age now where I consciously think about the pain that it's in my body. Like before, it'd be like, man, that kind of sore. Whatever, go, just keeping moving on. Now it's like, man, that hurts. Like I'm there, so I get it. What those suffering moments ought to do is bring people together, not be used as a rationale to push someone away to the fringe even more, the fringe of death. We shouldn't do that. We should be wanting to put our individual emotions aside so that we can work harder to comfort those who are going through those circumstances. But we don't, because we don't want to. If you were to do that, to confront that person's suffering and try to comfort them that way, it would force you to confront the suffering in your own life and the inevitability of your own death. And we just cannot stand that idea. We want to believe we're invincible. And so one of the ways we do that we hide ourselves from death, is to keep it behind closed doors at hospitals and rest homes, nursing homes. Like we just we put people away the way we used to with mental institutions, and we do our best to try and forget about them. If it's convenient, then maybe we'll go by and see them, but we always have that freedom to leave whenever we want. And that's dangerous. Because we need to be conscious, cognitively aware of our mortality. In the Psalms, David prayed to God, make me more aware that my days are numbered. Because there's the old stupid country song that when you are aware that your mortality is imminent, that you begin to do things in a way that you used to not do, that you live like it's your last day on earth. So in a lot of ways, I think that we're robbing ourselves of opportunities to really enjoy each other, community, life, by trying to sterilize it. And that's it's dangerous for me. Now, one more minute, hopefully. I just want to say this. If you're struggling with suicide, if you've been through terrible circumstances, rape, murder, deaths of close loved ones, like if you've been through hardship currently, or you struggle with depression, anxiety, just suicidal ideation, you just struggle with any one of those things, there's help for you. There's all kinds of resources out there that are more than willing to talk with you, find a close, trusted friend, and hopefully they'll listen. Hopefully they'll love you enough to not talk and just sit and listen to your struggle. But find someone. Comment down below. I work nights, so it's not even a thing. I'll talk to you all day long. Listen, I want to help you. There are people out there that want to help you. Suicide is never the answer to any reasonable question. And no matter how hard it seems like it is now, there's always one more day. And it might be difficult now. Just keep pushing through it. You're going to be okay. So, be real. Don't isolate yourself. Don't let other people isolate you. Call for help. Pursue it. Work the plan. And, you know what? Maybe it won't get, you might never get rid of the feelings that you feel, but you have the ability to control them. So, yeah.